This is a compass designed by the Neopunk FM people. They use it to qualify who you are, depending on the type of music that you listen to. But today I'm going to go ahead and use this as a way to qualify who you are, depending on what method of caffeine you drink the most. So on one axis you have neurotypical to autistic, and the other you have manipulator to virgin. You'll fall somewhere on this, and like I said, it'll be depending on what method of caffeine that you decide to drink the most. So first off, I'm going to go ahead with the more like normal ones. So first off, regular old coffee. If you brew a pot before you go to work in the morning, or you brew a pot at work, it's a very normal thing to do. It's been done for the last few thousand years, so I think right away this qualifies as pure neurotypical activities. Next up is K-cup pods. So these have a little more versatility and portability. So the demographic for people who drink these are a little younger, but it's still coffee. So it's still pretty neurotypical, just slightly more manipulator, like I said, because of the younger demographic. Next up is decaf. So if you drink decaf, then you drink coffee for just the taste alone. You don't actually like the caffeine, which is psychotic behavior, but in like a calculated way. So you know how to get your way out of every single situation that you're in. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is it's pretty heavy on the manipulator, slightly leaning neurotypical, just because there are some people who drink coffee like at night, but they don't want the caffeine. And next up is espresso. If you drink espresso, you don't have time to do anything you enjoy, not even like sit down and have a nice cup of coffee. You probably overworked at your job and you just got out of a divorce, so you're kind of sad, but you are still young. There's still hope for you. I'm going to go ahead and say somewhat leaning virgin, and then it's still a pretty neurotypical drink. It's still coffee, so down towards neurotypical. Actually, I'm going to go put it down here. Starbucks. Starbucks is, in my opinion, the great equalizer. Everyone's drinking it. Everyone continues to drink it. It's a multi-trillion-dollar company. It's right in the middle. Everyone from all walks of life enjoy a nice Starbucks. Next up is brewing your own tea, like actual pots of tea. If you do this, you're likely above the age of 60 and have a weird collection of like old stamps or like joke books or something. You're pretty weird, and you likely don't get play, like I said, because you're above the age of 60. So it's pretty weird, kind of in the autistic virgin territory. And the last up for the plant-based drinks, I have Arizona tea. So this isn't really caffeine either, but it's still a pretty popular drink, and it has some caffeine. So I'm counting it because it's my compass. So the age demographic of this is closer to like 25, and the kind of person who drinks this on a regular basis also wears rings and likely is in the middle of going to school. So that's kind of young. It's pretty mainstream, so I'm going to go ahead and put it right about here. First up for the energy drinks, we have Monster. So Monster in general is an incredibly neurotypical drink. It's very mainstream, but the small percentage of people who drink it who are weird about it are incredibly weird about it. So the Monster is going to go definitely leaning neurotypical, but not like all the way. And the level of virgin to manipulator depends on the flavor that you drink. So for example, Java is drunk mostly by like people around age 30. It's coffee and Monster. It's a pretty not, you don't get play drink. You're likely divorced if you drink this as well. All right, so next up is regular Monster. This includes the flavors like the lemonades and the rehab drinks. If you drink this, you're probably younger, around like 25, like mid-20s, still in college. So you're a little less virgin than Java Monsters, but you're still not very popular. And the next up are all the juices. So the juices, again, progressively younger, probably like early 20s, more manipulative, and you fall right about there. Again, same level of neurotypical, but the age range is a lot younger. And last with the zero sugars. So the zero sugars are the most manipulative level of Monster, I feel, just because the kind of people that drink this also drink Arizona teas and likely listen to like indie rock. So definitely towards the manipulator side, and still, again, same level of neurotypical. All right, next up is Red Bull, a very old head brand. It's heavily neurotypical. It sponsors NASCAR. It has commercials on like cable TV. So very neurotypical if you drink it. And then it kind of has an inverse spectrum as to level of virgin to manipulator. So this right here is the zero sugar. And zero sugar Red Bulls are drunk a lot by like line cooks and people who can't pass drug tests. So definitely heavy virgin, heavy neurotypical. And then regular Red Bull and all its like fruit flavors are a little less virgin because they're just in general less sad people. But similar to Monster, they're just trying to get through college. They're just trying to get through their day. This isn't a drink they drink just for fun. And then the seasonal flavors are pretty close to the regular Red Bull, but getting the seasonal flavors implies that you're a little more with the times, so slightly more leaning towards manipulator. Still a virgin drink, but it's definitely getting it's definitely only leaning virgin, I'd say. Next up is Rockstar. So the kind of person that drinks Rockstar is the same kind of person who works night shift security at like a park or like a business or something. Um, Pretty neurotypical drink. Still definitely leaning that way because it's found in a lot of vending machines. But if you drink this, you're very sad. You don't like the taste of Rockstar. You just drink it because it's the only thing available to you. So pretty virgin, and you're probably not going to be fixing yourself anytime soon. So next up is Rockstar Zero Sugars. So if you drink Rockstar Zero Sugars, you're pretty similar. You're a pretty similar person to the regular Rockstar, but you stand in the corner of whatever class you're in and just drink this and watch like Clash of Clan compilations during class. You're weird and you like scare the hose a lot. So same level of virgin, but more on the autistic side compared to a Rockstar regular. Full Throttle. Full Throttle is drunk a lot by like those car guys that take their car way too seriously, but they're also drunk by a lot of like military personnel. So the overall audience kind of leans towards virgin, but it's not like as bad as like Rockstar or something. So next up is Nos. The kind of person that drinks Nos on a regular basis also is probably high 24/7, not going to school, just working like a part-time job or something. You definitely don't get any play, and you're a little weird because you've killed your brain cells with all the whippets they've done. So definitely leaning virgin, not as bad as Rockstar, but leaning virgin, leaning autistic. Next up is Rain. Kind of person who drinks Rain is also mediocre on his high school wrestling team. Because he's in high school and he does sports, definitely leaning manipulator, but wrestles are like a little weird, so leaning slightly autistic, but still kind of in that manipulator central zone. Ghost is one that's pretty popular with like pre-medicine or like pre-pharmacy students. If you're in pre-med or pre-pharm, you are likely slightly autistic, but you also are in medicine. That draws a lot of manipulative, terrible people. So definitely kind of leaning autistic manipulator here as well. The kind of person that drinks Bang is also the same kind of person that rolls up to the function blasting like 100 gex or something and has like a bag of Coke next to them. They are incredibly weird people, but they definitely get a lot of play because they're at least fun at parties. And if nothing else, they're plugs. So definitely heavy autistic manipulator here. Well, maybe a little less autistic or a little less manipulator, but yeah, right about there. Okay, C4. So if you drink C4, then you don't like C4. You drink it because the Walgreens across the street that you go to during your lunch breaks is broken down and they refuse to restock. So this is the only thing that's left because nobody else wants it. You probably work a pretty similarly sad job to the people who drink Rockstar, but you're trying to better yourself. You don't like the position that you're in. So you go, that gets you some points towards manipulator, but still pretty kind of central leaning virgin. Prime. Skibbity Gat, Risen, Ohio. This is a brain rot drink. You're a full autistic virgin if you drink these. G Fuel. I don't think much needs to be said here. This is the stereotypical virgin drink, and for good reason. So Zoa is interesting. I see this in every single store that I go to, but I've never heard a single person talk about or drink it. So either the people who are behind Zoa are just running like a money laundering scheme, or the people who drink Zoa are complete shut-in losers. So you're gonna go right next to Prime because either way, it weirds me out. Four Loko. If you're drinking Four Loko on a regular basis, you're probably equally as weird as the Bang guy, except instead of bringing Coke, you bring crushed up vitamin B tablets because you're too poor, because you keep spending all your money on Four Loko. You're drinking an upper and a downer at the same time, so you're not going to be very fun at parties. You're just going to kind of be there. So same level of weirdness, but definitely a lot more autistic than Bang. Pre-workout. Pre-workout motherfuckers are crazy. They don't drink pre-workout, they dry scoop it, and they go on black market, like dark websites to try to get non-FDA approved pre-workouts because it has like a gram of caffeine and some methamphetamines, which is real. So I'm going to go ahead and put you heavily autistic, but still manipulator because you're in the gym a lot. You can definitely get a lot of pull, but you're fucking crazy. Caffeine tablets. If you drink or take caffeine tablets and you don't have like chronic migraines, then I'm gonna have to ask you to stop buying random chemicals off of Amazon. You probably use sodium, like sheet metal, as bath bombs, and that's just pure autism behavior. You just get pure caffeine, nothing else. Stop it. Celsius. So Celsius is pretty popular with like nurses and people who work as like medical assistants in clinics. Um, but they're pretty manipulative because they work in medicine. They're just kind of terrible people, and it's more neurotypical than like Ghost, which is also popular with medicine because there's less autism required to become a nurse or a medical assistant. So Bubbly Bounce and other kind of like soda water caffeine drinks, you're probably the same person to drink like White Claws by the pool. A very young, kind of modern person, and still like kind of manipulative because that's just kind of there's a market for that kind of person, and pretty neurotypical because you can find advertisements for this like on TV, and you're not a weirdo for drinking this. So right about there. All right, so lastly, soda. Now, nothing wrong with drinking soda, but if you drink soda specifically for the caffeine effects, you are your cardiologist's worst nightmare. You probably weigh about 300 pounds, so pure virgin, but neurotypical because it's soda. It's one of the most popular drinks of all time. Please stop drinking soda. You are a nightmare for everyone in your cardiologist's clinic. I'm gonna go right there. Pure virgin, neurotypical. So this is the chart. If I missed a few, then it's because they're super obscure. I don't care about them. That's it.